Good Morning Gwinnett presents the Friday Morning Mingle, the show hosted by the women of the Thrive Tribe, sponsored by the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. Check out the ladies every Friday morning at 10 a.m. as they talk about their real life as an entrepreneur. If you miss an episode, be sure to go to www.goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past shows. Sit back and enjoy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Friday Morning Mingle. I'm your host, Hardrick Kearney, and I got a guest today, y'all. I got a guest. Listen, this woman is a powerhouse, and she doesn't know this, but I have to say this. So, and it's so funny because I watch her in action all the time when I'm around her. So, Wednesday night, we were together having dinner with the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce, which I'm the president. We were having dinner. And I've seen her in action when she's out there promoting, Gwinnett Chat. She's doing her thing. She's out there promoting Gwinnett Chat. Now she's running for public office. But this is interesting. And she does it so well and so smoothly. And I don't even know if she knows she does it. So we're sitting to the dinner table. It's a whole table of us. And she's talking, right? And inside of her conversation, she's mixing in. That's why it's important to be a member of the GWC, the Gwinnett Women's Chamber. And the Chamber. She did that about 10 times, y'all. I'm sitting there, and so I'm watching her, right? We never had a conversation about this. I'm just watching how she's moving, and she's talking, and she flows, and then she throws it in there. And that's why this is important for organizations like the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce and the Greater Eastside Chamber. She did that like 10 times. And that's the second time I've seen her do that. So, I love her. I think that she is an amazing person. And she's out there, she's advocating for so many of us. And when I tell you, I sat there and I smiled, my heart was smiling because, she was just, and the women who were there, they didn't know us. They were new. They were new to the Gwinnett Women's Chamber. And, when we have people out there advocating for us, we appreciate you. So I appreciate what you're doing. And I've seen her do this. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there, I'm not saying anything, I'm just watching. So anyway, my guest today is Catherine Hardrick. Welcome to the show, Catherine.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Now, look, Karen called me a waterhead, and you got me over here, and I'm looking around like, okay, dang, I hate when I don't have no Kleenex, right? Because I'll cry in a heartbeat. But I'm just a genuine person, and I do believe in what you're doing. I believe in the chambers, both chambers, and everybody needs to plug in. And it's easy for me for it to come up and come out because I believe in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's not fake. It's not phony. And that's not who I am. I'm very genuine. I'm very authentic. And that's why we love supporting each other's podcasts, each other's organizations, KarenTheCat.com, Conversations with Karen the Cat. We authentic. It's unscripted. We down to earth. We want to have a good organic conversation so we can empower and uplift people. And that's what we were doing in that event. And I said I was going to swing by. I'm out here knocking doors. So y'all see me. I got my little hat on. And I just came off the streets. If y'all just saw me out on 78 by 78 and Skyland, I was out waving signs this morning about 7 o'clock, coming up with the sun. And then I had to hurry up and rush over here to be with my girls. So thank you for having me on your show. But it was just an honor to be in that space with all those wonderful women doing great things. And you, I called you podcast guru, that's what saved in my phone because that's what you do. But what I love about you is you give of yourself, you give of your knowledge a lot of times. And that's one of the things Karen and I wanted to do, like break that stigma about Black people not being able to work together or support one another. Black women just, no.
Wait now, some of that is true.
Listen,
some of that is true.
Listen, we choose how we want to be seen in a space. Yeah. And I choose not to allow that to be something that's representative of me.
Yes.
So it is a choice. We have free choice. The good book, right? Free will.
Right. That's right.
And so I choose to be a woman who helps elevate and support one another. And it's easy for me to say, hey, queen, hey, sunshine, hey, your hair is beautiful, your skin is beautiful. We don't do that. But it comes from when you're self-confident.
That's
You know,
right.
I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. And my therapists, all my therapists, they say, shoot, you did not miss the line of confidence. I might be depressed and have anxiety and have all these other issues, but honey, when it comes to confidence, I'm not lacking in that area. So when you possess confidence, you can say that to somebody else. You can
Yeah.
say, I love you. You can say that, I'm here for you, I support you, and I encourage you. And for me, it's just easy. And so when we do it, we give other people permission to do it. So but with you, I love how you don't hold back information. And
Yeah.
that's what's key. Once you put down that information, if a person picks it up, it's on them. But we put it down. No fakeness, no, like you were dropping all kind of nuggets. And people pay for that stuff.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Grants and where to get money and how to start your business and how to start a nonprofit. I mean, people come to Ryan all the time, Ryan Cox, founder of
Yeah.
Gwinnett Chat Outreach, and want him to give them information about how to start a nonprofit because he's so successful with Gwinnett Chat Outreach. And with podcasting and everything, this stuff. It's not easy. And I'm so glad that God put us around, each and every one of us, and that's what we got to do. Be on each other's podcasts, be on each other's socials, or what have you. So then that's how you elevate, creating that partnership and collaboration. But girl, I can talk. Look, you see me.
Listen. Let me first of all, thank you so much for that. I want to say this too. I think this is really important because I've been an entrepreneur for so long, 26 years, and trust me, I haven't figured it all out in 26 years, but I'm getting there. I'm really
Right.
getting to the point where I'm like, I got it. I got the
Mhm.
magic formula. I'm there. God has blessed me with the ability to obtain all of the stuff that I know. If you sat down with me for more than an hour and just pick my brain, as they say, it'll
Mhm.
probably blow your mind. And I don't say that to be braggadocious. I say that because I know He didn't give me all of that knowledge and wisdom for myself.
That's
So
right.
it's not meant to sit up in my head and just stay there. It's meant for me to share. So that's why I don't mind sharing. The other thing I want to say too is one of the things, like you said, we are very open, we're very giving, we're out there advocating for people, even when they're kicking our backs in. Trust me, people kick your backs in, they hate you for no reason, they
Yeah.
come up with reasons why things, it's crazy. And it was funny because at one point I was going to go into politics. That was
Mm.
my first game plan before Good Morning Gwinnett. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
a servant. And Kat, I don't have a temperament. I don't think I have. Let me say this. I don't think I have a temperament,
Mhm.
but I know when I'm out here advocating for women in business, I know when I'm out here spreading the word across our community, I'm a community servant, right?
Yes.
Being a servant, y'all, is hard. You think you're doing great, you think you're doing good by people, and the least little thing tick people off. They're
Yeah.
not your friends, they don't call you, they don't talk to you, you don't know what happened, they just ghost you, all kinds of stuff. You have to grow thick skin. And someone told me that years ago, like 25 years ago. They was like,
Mhm.
Audrey, and I was just on my entrepreneur journey. Audrey, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to grow thick skin. If you want to do
Mhm.
anything serving people, you got to
Mhm.
grow thick skin. And I applaud you because I don't think I could do the work that you're about to do. And the work
Mm.
that I'm doing now is
Mhm.
like I have been so emotional doing this work with this chamber only
Mhm.
because there's so many different personalities in his women. You
Yeah.
don't know you done tick somebody off.
Right.
You don't know if
Right.
it's just a transaction for people. Because
Mhm.
that's one thing.
Mhm.
Let's keep it real. Sometimes you are just a transaction for people. You're
Yes.
not a friend.
Mhm.
You're not a collaborator. You're just
Mhm.
a transaction. And when the transaction don't go the way they want to, they dump you.
That's
So
it.
it's a lot, but I don't want to talk a lot about that. I want to talk
Yeah.
about you, Kat. I want to talk. So I met Kat because of Ryan. Ryan
Mhm.
is the founder of Gwinnett Chat Outreach, which is an
Mhm.
organization that supports youth, right? So I
Yeah.
met Kat and she was talking. I was like, so we were in a store and we were all there, and she was
Mhm.
talking about Gwinnett Chat Outreach and why you need to be a part of it and why it was crazy. And so
Mhm.
I had the opportunity I think last summer, to go and speak to the young men of Gwinnett Chat Outreach. Ryan is a beast in the nonprofit world, y'all. I'm gonna say it one
Yep.
more time.
Yep.
Ryan is a beast in
Say
the
it.
nonprofit world. When I
Okay.
tell you he is out there advocating for those kids, he is
Mhm.
advocating day and night. And Kat was his right hand woman, and I think she still is. So
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah.
I won't be at Dancing with the Stars, Gwinnett Dancing Stars. My baby, my sugar baby, she has her showcase that day. I'm hurt because I'm like, I thought it was
Oh.
Saturday. My daughter's no, it's Sunday. So I'm gonna
Oh.
miss it. But anyway, Kat,
Yeah. So
thank you
let me
so. Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. You know we sisters. We at the kitchen table. Let me cut in. um, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Ryan, one of the things that I want to do, Gwinnett Chat Outreach, everybody go to gwinnettchat.org, and check out Ryan Cox. We have this fabulous gala that Audrey was talking about. This is our second annual gala. It's called Dancing Stars of Gwinnett. And our very first one was off the chain. We was at the fabulous Lawrenceville Arts Theater. And it's a black tie affair. It's a formal gala. So dress up and come on out with your, be clean, to dress to the nines. Now, dress to the nines. We'll have like our version of a red carpet. Excuse me. And then you'll get your little interview and so forth while you're there. And it's party with a purpose, right? We partner non-dancers, unprofessionals, amateurs with professional dancers with Fred Astaire Dance Studio. So check out Fred Astaire Dance Studio. And we partner with them. And then the dancers do just like the TV show. They record their ups and downs, their feet hurting and the stepping on the dancers' toes and all that stuff. They're just having a great time. And then we come out and we dance, and you win. You competing for first, second, and third trophies. You're competing for top fundraiser because it is a fundraiser. And all the proceeds go to Gwinnett Chat Outreach, which will help this program that has been free since its inception. Now, he did start a new protege program that's teaching life skills through golf. And so go check that out, because that does have a small fee associated with that, but it's a one-time fee. But check that out, because as you know, Audrey, a lot of business is conducted on the golf course.
Listen, I just had a conversation with a million. So we have a millionaire mentor. She comes out once a month and she mentors our Gwinnett Women's Chamber members, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her company did about 40 million last year. So she's a real
Wow.
millionaire. And we were talking about, doing the deal and getting a seat at the table. She's like, learn how to play golf and drink fine wine.
Baby. Look, I just was in the store who's actually doing an auction item for Gwinnett Chat Outreach for the Dance of the Stars. And baby, when I tell you, this owner of the store has wine that is in the thousands, a bottle, $800, and I'm going, wow.
Like, I wouldn't want to drink that. Like, it would just sit on the shelf somewhere. Like, I'm not about to drink $1,000 bottle of wine. It's gonna sit there.
No, I'm gonna want to drink that. I'm gonna need to know. I need to know what it tastes like. Yeah, girl. But I've had high-end scotch. Yeah, my homeboy, he is a Scotch Annor, whatever. And I just was like, maybe just because of the alcohol, I just was like, there, because maybe it's just, not trying to drink the alcohol, but I didn't see that. But, you have some people who are like the Scotch drinkers, the cigar smokers, the wine, so now coffee is the thing. Somalian coffee, we got to talk about that. But let me jump back to GCO. But yeah, the gala is November the 5th. And this year is going to be at the fabulous Aurora Theater, which is the historic Aurora Theater. So that's very significant. And we're going to have great participants from judges, like the police chief of Lawrenceville Police Department. We're going to have the first Pacific Islander ever elected in the state of Georgia, Nabila Islam. She's state rep Nabila Islam. She's dancing. And we're going to have the president of the Gwinnett East Side Chamber of Commerce. Greater East Side Chamber of Commerce. I always say that from Cooley High.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, I love Cooley High. Listen, I know we're dating ourselves now. People are like, what is Cooley High? It was a iconic movie, baby. Check it out. Go look. It's somewhere out there you can find it.
Okay, yeah. And so, but yeah, he's going to be there. So we have a great lineup. Go to gwinnettchat.org. Grab your tickets November the 5th. It's 6 o'clock. So, marketing. So we're always talking about entrepreneurs. Come out. We're going to have an hour of networking and connecting with other business leaders in the community, other legislative leaders and so forth. Come on out and do that. And again, it's party with a purpose, because we mentor young people from 13 to 18. So let's really get down to the meat of it. In this county, Gwinnett County is the second largest county in the state. I don't know if we topped 1 million, but the last census was very close. Okay, perfect. Great with the stats. And we have one of the largest school systems, right? So what GCO is determined to do is to help give these young people something additional than the 4 or 5 things that they may think they want to do in their life. Most kids, we push something with the ball in it, whether, even if it is golf, even if it's tennis, even if it's football, lacrosse, what have you. But GCO is trying to challenge the mind, because you could tear ACL, you could tear some of your shoulder and all that other stuff, and then what? But your mind, no one could ever tell you 2 + 2 is not 4, right? So we want to empower these young people and their families with resources that they then could sit down as a family and say, let's chart your pathway. Yeah, you're in school, you're in middle school, you're in high school, and you play in these sports. But let's start thinking about, where do you want to go into podcasting? Let's start going around with Audrey and let's see what's going on with Good Morning Gwinnett. Or let's go to Gwinnett County Public Library, right? Yeah. Because you can get these resources for free. Get you a library card, folks. Get you a library card. Yep. And start from the basics. And so that's what Gwinnett Chat Outreach does. We had a young man who wanted to know about marine biology. What does Ryan do? He schedules a behind-the-scenes tour with the Georgia Aquarium. Girl, I don't know if you've ever been behind the scenes. It is beautiful. We were literally at the top of the tank, behind the scenes at the top. And I'm afraid of heights. So even though you too.
Yes, I am.
So even though, it's not like you high, but the fact that you look over and you see all this water and all these beautiful God-made animals just swimming around, and you like, I stepped back. But you see all of these fish, and I'm like, and they were talking about how they get the medical care and how they bring in the carts, what type of education, the salary, the roles and responsibilities, how many years, how much money you need to save up to go to school. And now these kids actually can put, they see it. When you see it, now you can dream it. Now you can become it. And that's why it's so important to have equitable representation, which goes into why I'm running for office. But, we love GCO. We love what GCO is doing. And we have to have people, in my opinion, who is open to the idea of supporting our kids in a proactive way instead of a reactive way with the DA or solicitor. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Exactly.
We love GJAC, but we want to do it in a positive way. And they're all doing what they can, Patsy or DA, Patsy, girl, I can't think of her name. Thank you. Jeez. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that, because we had her on our podcast, and we had one of her chief detectives when talking about fentanyl and that epidemic, and so people don't want to talk about it. The same thing with human trafficking. You don't want to talk about it. I met a parent at Grayson High School. Their child was being groomed to leave and go. So, nobody wants to talk about that, but we have to talk. You can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Right. Exactly.
And so we need to promote programs and organizations like Gwinnett Chat and like other organizations that are getting in front of that, creating a barrier between gangs, violence, guns, drugs, adult activity that they shouldn't be doing, and all of that stuff. So we have to support these organizations. So I'm very passionate about that. As you said earlier, girl, you see, I'm a PSA all day, and I look.
Listen, and I love it though. I love it, Kat, because it's what's needed, right? Because you think about Ryan. Ryan is a beast, y'all. I ain't gonna even front. Ryan does not play when it comes to GCO. He does not play. He doesn't mince words when it comes to GCO. Yeah. You can't just jump on his board. He has just being around him. I've learned things like, if you can't support what we're doing, you can't be on the board. Now I should have listened to that.
Yeah. So look, so this is one of the things I want to do with the auction. I'm still trying to convince Ryan to do this, but one of the auction items is I don't want to say dates because that's not the proper term, but an exclusive sit down with Ryan Cox.
Yeah.
Would that not be a great auction item? Like for someone who's trying to start their nonprofit, an hour with Ryan Cox.
Let me tell y'all something. So Ryan has been on the show before, and God, I don't know what episode because we up past 1,000 now, but he was on the show, Yeah.
Wait. Take that in.
Yes, we passed 1,000. I'm past 1,000 right now. So I can't remember what episode Ryan was on, but Ryan said he raised over $300,000. Now I'm sure by now he's already hit $500,000 or more. But if you are out there in the nonprofit world and you're trying to figure out how to raise funds for your nonprofit, wouldn't you want to sit down with someone for an hour who has raised $300,000 or more? And I was like, what? So because what we hear in the nonprofit world, and I sit on 3 nonprofit boards, and I'm the president of a nonprofit with GWC. What we always run into is we cannot find funding. We cannot find support. We don't know how to fundraise. Wouldn't it make sense to sit down with somebody who has raised over $300,000 so you can find out, how do I do this? Who do I talk to? I'm telling you, he's very specific about stuff. He's very mild-mannered. But when it comes to that organization, he does not play. And you can't just go and be on the board. You can't he doesn't play. Yep. And so I think that's a great idea, Kat. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to push it, girl. Cause I'm like, cause and again, like Audrey said, he don't play with your board members. So I'm a board member. And and this is something else about self-worth, self-value and stuff. I was like, you want me to be a board member? What can I add? What can I bring to the table? I'm about to start crying. And you don't realize your own worth. Other people see it in you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, girl, because let's be real. I don't have a whole bunch of money. And people typically look for, when people say add value, is normally the green.
Yeah.
Network, access, and all that stuff. But child, please, between him and Chef Hank will let him eat, girl, they like, no, we wouldn't trade you for 10 other people, honey.
I know, and I know why, y'all. I know why. I told y'all she was out talking last night and it flowed so smoothly. And I'm like this.
Look, and then I went to you, where your business card? Come on, where your business card?
Right. She said, where your business card at? Because when we do Time Out Wednesday at GWC, we're really just there to like relax, have dinner, and shout out to Sam's on Main. They are the best at Sam's on Main. If you have not gone to Sam's on Main in Grayson, Sam, Jay, Sarah, and the staff there, they are the absolute best. They treat us so wonderfully. And, people look forward to them lemon drops, and we don't have to pay for them. So shout out to Sam's on Main. Listen, one lemon drop, I'm good. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. But anyway, listen, we can talk all day. Well, let's get to why we're here today. So, Kat, you're an advocate out there in them streets, girl. You advocate for everybody, but tell us a little bit about your background, because I know you weren't always well, maybe you were. I don't know that. Let's
yeah, you know what? So we multitask, and people like, I tell people to chat on your page, and they blowing up my phone.
Go to the link that she shared with you, and I can see the comments and I can post them on the page.
Okay, yeah, because people and I love it. Keep it coming, but put it on the link, y'all. Put it on the link. My phone just and I'm going, what is this? So yeah, girl. But
listen, this is the Friday morning meal. We keep it real up here. This is no fluff over here, baby. No fluff.
Facts. And that's what we are, honey. That's why we are. That's why I love it. So Karen Scott Green, my co-host. Shout out. Zeta's in the house. I'm not a Sora, but my sister is Zeta. But let's see what's that. This side. And Karen Scott Green, she ran for office. She ran for Gwinnett County State Superior Court judge. And in that seat, that incumbent hadn't been challenged. Don't quote me, but it's been some years, I would almost say decades. And then I ran in 2021 for Snellville City Council Post 5. And it's ironic because we already said Gwinnett County is the second largest. We got the same percentage, close. She was like 5 or 6%, something like that, from winning the county. Mm-hmm. And then I was 7% from winning the seat. And we said, that was a whirlwind. And we started talking about the political process and what kind of goes on behind the scenes that people really don't know because we're so busy with our day-to-day lives. And we said we needed to make change. We were just talking about different things, not only just politics, but life. And we said we need to create a podcast where we can have these conversations and bring stuff to light and bring solutions, because we didn't want to be just another set of human beings, Black women. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not that that's what Black women do. I'm making, don't cuss me out for that.
You know they're gonna come for you. Watch it now, because we'll come for you.
I know. I'm just saying, people, you just have, sometimes you wind up looking up and you're complaining a lot.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to do self-regulation and check ourselves and say, that's not what I want to do. So remember, I said earlier, we have to make a choice. So Karen and I made a choice that we were going to pour our energy into our podcast and uplift and empower people. Mm-hmm. And so with that, it took a lot of, for me, soul searching and stuff, because what you want to talk about. Like, I'm a private person. We got an episode, she was trying to talk to me about Thanksgiving. I just kept pushing it back to her. And she was like, you don't want to talk about it, do you? But I realized that in all of that, I'm an advocate. So that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm an advocate. And when you have to do a self-assessment and look at what you've been doing, my girlfriend sent me a picture that her mom had when we were in the military, when we were 17, 18, and she said, you've always been a leader. And the picture was me in front of all the, 30 people. And I was like, oh, I have been. Like, when you in it, you don't.
Right.
And one thing that we used to say all the time in the military is, you're never supposed to see your leader. You're never supposed to be able to tell who your leader is, because they're in the trenches with you.
Okay, got it.
You see, they're in the trenches with you. And the reality of it is, real leadership, you step forward, you fall back. You step forward, you fall back. Because your job is to help make sure we're all leaders, because we're only as strong as our weakest link. Remember that.
Let me tell you something. You just said a mouthful to me. And let me tell you why that's important to me. Because as the president of a chamber, right? Some people may think that I'm just supposed to sit in the office and do that kind of stuff. That's not the type of leader I am.
Right.
That's why at mostly every event we have, I'm there. Am I exhausted most of the time? Because we have a lot of events. I am. But for me, in order for me to make real change, I have to be able to share. And people have asked me, you going to do the training? Like, why wouldn't I? I know the knowledge. I know the information. So why wouldn't I do the training? Why wouldn't I support the women who have said, yes, I want to be a part? Why wouldn't I? But that's not how a lot of people look at leadership. They don't feel like the leader should be in the trenches. They feel like the leader should be in an office somewhere, barking orders to people. And I'm not saying that's not a good thing.
That's a post up like this.
Right. I'm just saying that, and I guess there's leadership positions for everybody, because for me, I'm in the trenches, and because I know that, to me, that's why I feel like I need to be. So yeah, I could be in the office, which I'm in the office doing the stuff that I need to get done on the administrative side. But I also realize there's a lot of stuff I know that if it's just sitting in my head, it can't help the women who need the help. So I love that. Like, I love that. And I love that that's how the military, how they teach you guys to think. Now let's back up for a second. So you are a military vet, and you titled the show "Find Out Why Catherine Founded the Women's Veterans Day." She did not found it, so don't come after her. That was my error. Don't come after her for that. So tell us a little bit about your growing up and what made you decide to go into the military.
Yeah. So thank you for that. So
thank you for your support. Thank you for your
service.
Service
to the country. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for serving. That's what people typically say. Yeah. And then, people say proud to serve, or thank you and all that good stuff. But thank you. It definitely was an honor and a privilege to be able to serve our Constitution and our freedoms. And so before I was 5, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? That's a saying that we all say from Detroit. Yeah. And
they did that last night at the table. We was like, that's some kind of cold.
Right. Yeah,
somebody else on the table from Michigan. They did like that. What up, though? And we was like, what the heck? Okay.
Yeah, girl, that's that thing. And I'm from the east side of Detroit. But before I was 5, I lost both my biological parents.
Wow.
And so, and then it was a village, and I was the baby girl. And so my inside joke is, well, at least my dad decided that he finally got his favorite. You know, he tried 7 times and he got to that 8th one. He was like, "Ooh, this is my favorite, so I'm gonna stop." So that's my little inside joke. I'm the 8th baby, 8th month, 8th day, and so yeah. So I was like, he said, "I'm good."
Triple Ace,
But
baby.
yeah.
Ooh-wee.
And so it was a village that raised us. So my mom's siblings, my grandmother, and my dad. So, and then not only was it blood, your aunts and uncles and grandparents, but it was the entire village. So that's why y'all see my hat. You know, CAT is an acronym for Community Accountability and Transparency. So the C stands for community, because I do believe in a community, because that's what I was raised in. So I have people that are like sisters and brothers to me. We've been together since diapers. We don't have the same parents, but we have the same love. And that's what a village is. It's being a part of a village means you're part of a community that loves you, that supports you, that doesn't care what color you are, where you live, who you love, where you worship, your zip code, none of that. It's when people just love on you. And that's what I was around. And then I was around people who served in the country, and served this country. My brother retired Navy, my other brother Army, you know, the men who I call daddy, you know, Air Force and Vietnam. So I was around men and women who served before me. And it was just natural for me to go in that direction. 1, 2, we low income. You know, back then minimum wage was $3 and some change. I think $3.25.
Yep.
And then you either worked at the labor, because my father worked for Chrysler. So, you know, I'm from Michigan, you know, the big 3. And so we're in a Motor City, and people typically, you either worked for the plant in unions, which I'm a big supporter of unions. Thank God for labor unions. And then my other family members would work either in the school system, volunteering, a lot of volunteerism. So that was instilled in me. And then they worked as servers and cooks. So I know how to cook, y'all. I don't. I retired in 2018, but I know how to throw down. You know, the old school peeling.
You retired from cooking?
Girl, yeah. When my youngest graduated, I was like, I'm done. Like, I used to cook, like back in the day, I got burn marks on my arm. I didn't know how to cook, set a fire almost to the house. My daughter had to grab the fire extinguisher, but that was a whole nother thing, girl. I burned the turkey, listening to my sister. I was like, I ain't never doing that again. But we had to call 911, the whole thing, girl. I had back grab. It was funny. Girl, I said that turkey, though. That turkey, I was like, we eat that turkey. But yeah, and so, but being in that space like that, we're just raised around a bunch of folks. And it was, you know, it's just me and my sister and my cousin that are 3 living girls, and there's all rest boys. Wow. So I was just raised around a whole bunch of men and my cousins and brothers on the street, you know, that I call brothers. And then, you know, I went into the military, but unfortunately, I turned 18 in the military, and within the first year of my active duty, I was raped. So I became a victim, and they call it military sexual trauma. So I'm one of thousands and thousands of victims, male and female, who have become victims of rape. And in fact, when I started going to therapy, science proves that research says that people who are victims of rape don't report it for like 27, almost, you know, over 25 years. Yeah. And it took me over 21 years to report my rape. Wow. So now all the things that I said prepared me to become who I am today. Wow. Like, God brought me through all of that, you know, crying, not having your biological parents, being a child, seeing everybody with their mom and dad, and me still feeling the type of way. And growing up to be a woman, to thank God that I have my own family. And, you know, my prayer used to always be, Lord, just please let me live long enough that my kids know me. Like, that used to be my prayer. Yeah. Now that they grown, I'll be like, okay, wait, now I want a little more time.
Right.
Can I rewrite that? Because, you know, you'd be like, okay, I just want to live long enough for this.
Right.
But then it happened. You're like, let me, you know, rewrite that. You know, and so, but you see why Karen called me a waterhead?
I see. It's okay. Listen, it's okay. We keep it real on this show.
Hello, facts. And so looking at all the stuff that my parents, you know, we used to go to nursing homes, visit people in homes. My other mom, she used to work at the church, and you soup kitchens, and that's what they used to call them back then. And I don't know if they still call them that. And then feed people in the community. And this is what I wanted to say. It was an organization. We used to walk up to the church, a bunch of kids in the summertime. We walk up to the church. Adults will volunteer, play with us, basketball, teach us lessons. We had the little tables, the old school desks, the wooden desk, teach us stuff and everything. Get a lunch. It'll be a sandwich, a piece of fruit, and a little juice with the tin foil on the top. Yep. And then we would go home. And that's what made me join. That's the nostalgia, or that's the right word, that made me want to be with Gwinnett Chat Outreach. Because when I met Ryan, it immediately took me back to Detroit, East Grand, specifically, where we used to go as kids and have an outlet and keep us out of trouble for a few hours. And then we would all go back home. You know what I'm saying? And so when I saw that, I was like, of course I'm going to support that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of that, from being a kid all the way up to serving my country and going through my dark spaces, because I was a victim and I lived untreated trauma. I had untreated trauma that I was navigating through. And I had a dark side. I just did, because I was sick, right? I was hurt, and hurt people.
Yeah.
And finally, one of my friends, who's a vet, and had their own PTSD and trauma, that said, you need therapy. You got to go to get therapy. Yeah. And I did. And that therapy, saved me, because I wanted to be among the living. That's why be among the non-living. And that's why I'm a huge, huge advocate for mental wellness. I'm a huge advocate for being transparent. And this show, like these conversations that me and you are having, and me and Karen have on our show, would never have existed a few years. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
And so that's why I'm proud to say I was that person.
Right.
But my past doesn't define who I am today. Right. It strengthens me. I've learned from it. What I need to take with me, I do. And what I don't, I leave it back there. Yeah. But I'm no longer a prisoner of that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a daily balancing act. I still see my therapist. I still support therapy. And guess what, family? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Right. Shout out to therapists who have the courage and the strength and the knowledge to deal with the rest of us in this world. You understand? It's like educators, police officers. Thank all of y'all for putting up with the rest of the world, because I know y'all see and hear stuff that you like, man, I quit my job. I don't want to fool with these people. Let
me tell you something, Kat. I went through Gwinnett Citizens Academy 101, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Nicole Love Hendrickson when she created that program. That I thought that was
I went through that too. I was cohort 16. Hey.
I think I was 15. When I tell you that was the most I went through it in 15. So what is that? 8 years ago? What is it? What we 28 years ago? Okay. I've been talking about that program ever since. And here's why, y'all. Because I got a chance to go behind the scenes and see how things work, right? Mm-hmm. I think the most impressive thing for me was the water system. Gwinnett has the best water system in the world. You have to look, you have to check that out. But the other part was actually talking to law enforcement and standing in their shoes, their virtual shoes for a second. And I remember doing the simulation. I don't know if you did the simulation where the guy was coming towards you with the knife and you had to shoot him. Did you do that one?
So my PTSD kicked in, and I'll tell you about it. Go and tell the story.
Okay. So I went through the simulation, right? I get to the simulation, and there's a giant screen, and it has this man coming towards you in 3D, and you have a gun in your hand. So I had a gun in my hand, and they were saying that people always say, why didn't you just shoot him in the leg? That's why they always shoot center mass, because you can't shoot somebody in the leg. And even if you do shoot him in the leg, you may hit an artery that will make them bleed out quicker as if you hit them in center mass, right? So I'm sitting there. This is a simulation. It's not real. Mm-hmm. I have the gun. I'm aiming the gun, and I can't shoot the man to save my life. He done stabbed me. Just that quick. That was the first thing. The second thing was talking to them, just having a real conversation with them. Mm-hmm. And then going into that room that was a dark room where they had pulled over a car, and they tell you how you have to go up the side and all these things.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine doing that on a day-to-day basis. So it gave me a totally new respect for law enforcement, like totally new respect for law enforcement, and what they put themselves into every day to help us stay safe. So I always, when I see stuff on online, and I gotta give it. Listen, the sheriff office always, whoever the social media person is over at the sheriff office, they do their job. They think everybody, and when they think them, I think them. So on this show, you hear me saying, and congratulations to Deputy so and so, and shout out to Deputy so and so, and happy retirement. They do their job over there at social media people. I don't know who they are.
Facts.
Cat, they do their job, baby. They put that information out there, and once they put it out on the written platform, I share it on these platforms because you guys and those people get up every morning and they don't know if they're going to return home to their families because we have some really sick people out here in this world, and they have goals sometimes. Just to, prayers go out to Lewiston. When I saw that story, I was like, oh my God, what is going on here?
It is so sad on all levels, and no one should ever lose their life for any reason. Wars, mass shooting, like the fact that we have a term, mass shooting. It just cringes every time. And my heart goes out, and this is why I'm trying to get this cat on our show about conflict. We already had John Harris. He has a conflict resolution organization. We did it with the young people because we want to teach people when you're angry, this is how you handle your anger. And so what has happened for decades, if not centuries, people have not been taught how to deal with their anger, their frustration, their sadness, their grieving, anything in a negative bubble. A lot of people, just like with businesses, we haven't been taught how to, finance, whatever. We're so busy on ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. We don't, this should be a class. This should be a class. And if all the things that we've been through and as a society for generations, from war to riot to injustices, socioeconomic this, because we're all walking around with generational untreated trauma. Period. Period. And until we start calling it what it is, and then we can address it. But if we keep sweeping it under the rug, saying that you just being this way, or you trying to divide, or you just trying to, no, dude, we are all suffering from some form of untreated trauma. And we need to tap into these licensed professionals who've gone to school that can actually help each and every one of us. But people, and I'm willing to start anywhere, but I'm definitely going to start with these young people. But I want to have this cat on the show because on our show, he has, it's an organization, like he teaches people who survivors of rape to get their confidence back. Because, my anxiety. So to my point, don't let me forget where I'm staying. Stay with me, Audrey, because I'll be all over the place. The Gwinnett 101, when we had the fire police assembly, simulation, my PTSD went up. And so I had told my coach or therapist, the lead person, that, because that's why I wear my watch. So the reason I got my watch to watch my heart rate and all this other stuff, because I still have, it never goes away. You just have to learn how to manage it better throughout day to day. So that experience, when we went to the jail, girl, my heart rate was like 120. I was in tachycardia. And I did like this, and I stopped, and they was like, what? And I was like, I can't. And then he looked, he said, is that the time? That can't be the time. Because, you go at night.
Right.
It was like one something. He said, that can't be the time. I'm like, because he thought it was the time. That's how high it was. He thought it was the time. And I was like, that's my heart rate. I got to go. And so, no, I didn't go through that, but the class did. I just didn't participate in it. And then, going to the tour of the jail, I couldn't do any of that because certain things just triggered me. So, but I agree with you that we need to, give them the big round of applause. But with that being said, back to my point, the gentleman organization, he teaches survivors how to deal with their daily day stresses, because think about it. If you rape a woman, you rape, most doctors are what? Men. Most police officers are who? Men. Right. And so and your judges and the people you got to get in front of are mostly men. And then you want a person who's been violated by a man to come talk to a room full of men.
Yeah.
And then you live in a society when they say, well, what did you have on? Where were
Right.
you at? What were you doing?
Yeah.
I don't care if I was butt ball naked. That don't give anybody the right to rape me.
Right.
The absence of yes is no.
Right.
Period. So this is an organization I would like to see if we can get on our podcast so that we can give all ages, men and women, those resources so that they can get their power back, right? Because you've been violated, so your voice has been stolen, you've been assaulted, so you want to get that back. And then also how to deal with anger, how to deal with conflict resolution. That needs to be the term that we say more and more and more. Conflict resolution. How do you handle the highs and lows? How do you handle when you lose your job? What happened when COVID happened?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. What I've realized, and I think I've realized it more over the last probably 6 to 8 months, that there are so many broken people out there. And like, I've always been like, go get the help you need, because I've been like, when I learned that I could get a coach, like, yeah, I'm gonna find me a coach. Right. People need help. And I think for me, I've learned so much by looking at people and meeting so many different people from so many different walks of life. And what you see on the outside has nothing to do with what's on the inside. And some of the things that I've learned is that I'm not equipped to deal with some of these things that people have going on. I'm not equipped to deal with certain types of conflict resolution. Like, I had an issue, something that came up, and it was, when I tell you, it was nothing. It was just somebody that thought something that they thought something happened that never happened. And they got an attitude about it, right?
With you?
Yes. And it never happened. So I'm thinking like, well, I felt like that was a little shade thrown. So I made the call. Hey, just calling to see, like, because I felt like when we had the conversation, something was going on. And the person said, well, yeah, because you made this decision. I was like, yeah, but I didn't.
Right.
I said, but I did make that decision. And they goes, yeah, but I felt like you felt like I made a decision. I didn't make that decision. That's what you felt like. Right then and there, I knew, yeah, ooh, this is gonna be rough. So, and the other thing too, Kat, how do people get to understand that they have issues? Like, because some people don't even know it's them. They think it's the world around them, it's everybody else's fault. Everybody else is in the wrong. It's not them. And I realized I'm gonna stay on over here on this side, because I don't know how to handle all that right there.
I'm here to tell you.
I'm not equipped. I'm not trained for all of that right there. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and, figure your thing out. I don't know how to handle that. And I don't even know if they know that they have this problem. And I always say this: if it's everybody else, it's normally you.
That's what
everybody else around you, it's probably you.
Well, and people don't like the word diversity, because folks be like, you throw it out, they hear it so much, it's starting to become numb. It's just like, don't have it. Right. But you need to have a diverse group of friends. You need to have a diverse group of people around you. Not just skin color, but thought and point of views. If you're constantly around somebody that's the yes person, and they just yes, like the little statement, the boom, 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 they gonna agree with everything you say. Either you're narcissistic or something's going on with you that you need your ego stroke.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just don't know that you need a variety of people around you. But if you really want to grow, you should always try to surround yourselves with somebody in the room that's smarter than you.
Yeah.
That's better than you in something. So if you want to get better at a sport, be around somebody that's better than you in that sport. Yeah. You want to get better. That's what coaching is about. My whole health coaching journey within is my actual business that I haven't worked since I started running for office.
I wanted to talk about that. So we'll get to that in a minute. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah. But just people need to surround themselves. But if you don't acknowledge it, you're not going to change it. So that's the thing. And people need to do self-inventory.
Yeah.
You got to do some self-reflection. And I don't care if you do it once a year, do it on your birthday, when the Lord allows you to go around the world one more time. Maybe you need to assess yourself. How are you to people? And how do people respond to you? Are people always, is it always an argument?
Yeah.
right? Do you always have friction when you talk to people? And then you got to self-assess yourself. Is it me? And this is one thing I ask people so I tell it like it is. And when I give people tough love, I'm like, now I love you, right?
Right
They
out
be like,
there, say,
oh
"Oh Lord,
man,
what's
well,
she about
here
to
it comes,
say?"
right? But I ask people, you need to ask yourself, is this relationship one that I want? Do I value this relationship? And if I do, what am I willing to do realistically to make it last?
Yeah.
And then once you've done all you need to do, and you got to step back. I've only had one relationship. I mean, of course, romantic relationships, girl, yeah, because sister girl, I get rid of you. But I mean, friendship wise, I've only had one friendship that I literally had to say, this relationship is no longer mutually beneficial. And I'm not going to call you anymore. You don't have to call me anymore. And
Mm.
I'm in my life, and I am a nurturer of friendships. I value the interactions that the Lord have allowed. So if you cross my path, I've talked to over 5,000 people during this election. And girl, I probably got so many numbers now, just not just campaign wise, but literally making connections with other human beings.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Like when you said so many people are broken, that is real.
That's real.
That is real. People have 2 and 3 jobs. They're taking care of aging parents. They may have children that have additional needs. I met a person
Yeah,
that
childhood trauma.
facts, and here it is. You want to actually get cut in front of somebody in traffic or cut in front of them in line at the store, and you better leave people alone. I'm like, you can have your way here, honey. Have your way.
You know what, Kat? So I had a business before, and I don't have any sisters. I have 2 brothers and no sisters. I'm the oldest. I'm the only girl. But my brother and I, we're best friends. So, but I don't have any sisters, but I have 4 great best friends.
Yeah.
4. And I'm happy to say that because they have been my best friends. I think the youngest best friend is like 27 years. The other 3 are like 40 years. Like
Right.
literally. I could pick up the phone. We don't have to talk every day. We don't have to talk every month. But I could pick up the phone and say, this is what I need. I need y'all. They would be on the plane here. And same thing here. They call me and I'll be there. And I remember one of my friends and I had a business together, and some things had transpired that didn't sit well with me. So I had an option to kill my friendship or to kill the business. I killed the business, right? And I said to her, I killed this business because I value, even though she was in the wrong, I killed this business because I value our friendship. And she knew, she said things had went on that she shouldn't have let happen.
Right.
But I killed it. But I looked at that because all of my friends have sisters.
Yes.
And I looked at their relationships, and my mom had one sister, and I looked at their relationships. So all the relationships were always like this with sisters, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This is not worth me killing the friendship over. I'm gonna have to let the friendship heal.
Yeah.
Because I'm hurt. I'm gonna have to let the friendship heal. I'm gonna let the business go, and I won't do that again. Which I did. I've never done it again. So I've learned that, but there are people who are so hurt, they don't even understand what a true friend really is because everything about them,
they ain't never had one.
They've never had one. And I know what real friendships are. And I figure for me, if I consider myself having real friends, that must mean I am a real friend. But
that's right.
I'm not equipped to handle that. So the work that you're doing in the mental health space, people need it. They don't even know they need it. They make there's one person, and I can't call no name, but it's a family member. Will make up stories, just make them up. Right? And I remember having a conversation with her one day, and she literally sat with me and made up a story. And I had to say to her, you do know you just made that up, right?
You called her out.
I had, because she was getting so upset about the story that she was making up. And I said to her, you do know you just made that story up. That did not happen. She goes, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, she was getting angry, Kat. But that's childhood trauma. I know her background. I know she has childhood trauma. And I had to say, you know what? I have to let her go with love. Because she walked out of our lives. She just walked away. And I had to let her go with love. and wish her well, because she has mental things going on that I cannot handle. I've tried, and my daughter would say, "I'm done," and I was like, "No, let's try this." I've tried, right? But when I get to the point where I see people have real mental issues and they make up stuff, you know, the slightest thing hurt their feelings, and I have no idea what it is, but they're hurt and they're walking around mad about stuff that I have no idea. I'm not equipped for that. So
let me ask. Did you ever suggest to them to get a licensed professional?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have gotten those. But again, there's something wrong with that person.
Yeah. Because that's one thing, like, I always say, that's another thing. People laugh at me. I say, you need a license. They say, licensed professional. Yeah. That's how I talk. You know, people don't hear it enough. And I also say, the first one may not be the one. It took me decades to find an all-Black therapy team. I have, of course, I mean, I have one white doctor girl. She's my psychiatrist. I gave her double hockey sticks. She was like, I ain't afraid of you. And I'm like, I ain't afraid of you either. You know? I love her to death, because, and it's not a black-white thing. So family, don't get on me about that. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing, and people need to be culturally competent and or at least culturally humble, and understand when I say big mama, you know what that means. Yeah. Or when I describe the dynamic of my family, you don't look at me and like, well, that ain't your mama, that's your auntie, or that's not your sister, that's just a neighbor, and because that's offensive. Right. Because I say to you, this is, you know what I'm saying? And so we have to learn, or if I crack a joke about Kool-Aid, you know, you're not gonna know, you're not gonna be able to make a reference. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's and so the military, the government, the VA, more specifically, they realized that, and so they did a very good job in recruiting doctors of all nationalities and experiences, so that now we can come in and say, because it's not just me, it's a huge problem. Yeah. And people are not going to tell you their pain to a person that they don't feel connected with. Yep. And so that's why I thank God every day for my story, because while people may not be able to talk to their therapist, they find it that they can talk to me. Yep. And I am honored, and I always tell people, I am honored that you trust me with this valuable information. Yeah. I literally, I'm tearing up because a woman was about to commit suicide. And I had said some nice, just me being me. Hey, you know, you love, you're going to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. And she snatched me up. We was at a food drive. She snatched me in her car and gave me a hug. And she said she was thinking about killing herself. Wow. And she said now she's going to think about it one more day. And I said, I just need one more day. And then the next day, I just need one more day. And then you just keep one day in her until she don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the power, I don't know the scripture. Karen know the scripture. Karen be like, quit calling me out on scriptures. I be like, go on, girl. What scripture is in the Bible to tell you the power of your tongue, you know, is to give life or death. Right. And the good book talks about that. And we all have a choice. Yeah. I keep going back to choices. We all have a choice. We can make a choice to do well with the time, talent, and treasures God poured into us. Yeah. Or we can do something else. Yeah. Right. And so we are choosing to use God-given talent, time, and treasures to make this planet, because we only got two places to live, our body and this planet, make it better than where we found it. That's you know, right. So I mean that. And that's all I can say about that, girl. We have to promote mental health. And every opportunity I have, I'm lifting up licensed professionals. Find y'all somebody that y'all can talk to. Oh, and talk about best friends. When I ran the first time, I called my homegirl in Detroit. And I was teary-eyed. I was like, I can't get nobody to help me not do it. So I'm just out here by myself. And blah, blah, blah. Girl, that girl jumped on the plane, girl. Wow. She had just recovered from COVID. and she still can't, her lungs and stuff, she has long COVID, I don't know what you call it, but like she can't walk like she used to without losing
Breath.
being winded. Yes, ma'am. And girl, she jumped on the plane. She came to her friend. She said, girl, you sound so distraught. She's like, I had to come help you, girl.
Yeah.
And that's what that's about. And
that's a blessing.
Yeah. When we would argue, she hang up in my face, I hang up in her face, and then she'll call me later, be like, you want to go get something to eat? Come on. Because we like sisters. Like, I can't imagine my life without any of my sisters or my brothers. Blood or not, because we together. So it's worth the fight, and to fight for that relationship to stay intact and be healthy, and to say I'm sorry. That's a powerful word.
Yep,
I'm sorry, and I won't do it again. I hear you. Most people I used to work in mediation. I was about to say meditation and mediation in Detroit, Michigan, for the state of Michigan. And most people, when you came in there for the mediation, girl, the business owner and the employee that's going ahead, they just wanted to be heard. You'll be sitting there looking like, y'all couldn't have did this in your conference room. But everybody talking, nothing can happen. So just be quiet and truly listen. Be in the room.
Yep.
Listen, and you can get a lot resolved. But you know what? When other people's life not on the line, other folks quick to push the red button to, do something, because you're going to be in a bunker somewhere protected. But I bet you if it was you out on the front line, like what you were saying with these police officers and first responders and firefighters, it burns me up when you don't get out the way. I hear those sirens 10 miles away. I'm already trying to pull over. I don't know where they at, but I'm trying to hurry up and get out the way.
That's right.
Move out their way. Respect our law enforcement and first responders, and shoot. The next time you go to the store, thank your cashier, because COVID showed you who were the essential workers.
Sure enough.
All of them. You know what? So, girl, don't let me get on my soapbox.
Listen, I love it, Kat. I love it. I love it a lot. And everything you said is so true. And, we got to keep helping people, y'all. That's why Kat show Conversations with Karen and Kat is so important. That's why Good Morning Gwinnett is so important. We are spreading. We're out here. We your voice when you don't have a voice, right? Okay. So be sure to, hit the shows up, because your story matters. They really do. Like, it's not just about us getting on here talking every morning. It's really about us sharing the message and getting the word out about things that need to be said. Mental health is a biggie. Now we're out of time, but I want you to tell people about this campaign that you're running, sister.
Girl, I say, okay, go to electcat.com, electcat.com for everybody that's listening on the airwaves and not watching the video, but it's electcat.com. I'm running for Snellville City Council, post 1. We got municipal races. You got 3 races, the mayor, post 1 and post 2. And post 2, Solange Disdain, who's the incumbent. She is the second Black or African-American in the history of 100-year history of Snellville. They've only had 4 people of color, 2 African-Americans, 1 Hispanic, 1 Middle Eastern in 100 years. Snellville is over 59%. Everybody else, Hispanic, Blacks, and we have less than 1% representation. So I'm running because I believe in equitable representation, which is what we talked about earlier, right? Yeah. You need to have diversity, not only just in leadership and your friendship and your household. Diversity is great, and it makes us all better, because you had that one friend that's not that yes person that can tell you, that ain't right, you're wrong. So we need diversity in governance, so that we can bring culturally competent people into the room, so that they can then share issues of the voices of the people that are diverse. If you have a culture that's limited in view, right, then how can they represent everybody if that culture is just focused on one subset, right? We need change in Snellville. We need change that's going to be where it's not ugly, where you're talking about one another. And y'all should just look at all this social media. I don't do that.
I looked at social media the other day. I could not believe some of the stuff that I saw. I was like, these are people in power. Oh my God. Yes. It was horrendous. Like, it was me and another chamber president. We were just, and they would just read. We were just reading through. I could not, because I'm not a social media person. So I'm not on social media, y'all. Not like that. I'll scroll through TikTok when I need to laugh. He was reading stuff out off. that people were saying in Snellville, and these were like administrators. I'm like,
Yes.
who does that? It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Was disgusting.
And thank you so much for saying that, because I have not said one negative post, because it's a choice for me. Nehemiah 6:3. I am not going to stop doing God's work to entertain none of y'all foolishness. Now that's me paraphrasing, so y'all go get the real King James version, but Cat's version. That's what that means to me. I'm not about to stop doing God's work. And so when you have individuals who are elected officials, police officers, service people, I had United States government on my breastplate, right? We are held at a higher standard on and off duty. And just because you're on social media does not negate the fact that you are still an elected official. Conduct yourself as such. I mentor your children. I'm licensed with Gwinnett County Public Schools, and I work with Gwinnett Chat Outreach. I let them eat, Wellspring Living and Soldiers Angels. I'm working with these organizations. I have to have a high standard. Not to mention, my name is Catherine Hardrick. I got to represent my parents in heaven who watching over me. They ain't raised me to act a fool. Yeah. You understand? And I'm not calling anybody a fool. I'm saying I'm not going to act like a fool. I'm talking about me. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I have to act above. And if you want somebody that's elected, they should represent. You want somebody to go somewhere and embarrass you? That's like your child going somewhere and embarrassing you at church or something. No, we're not doing that. And so because you are an elected official, you need to represent yourself as such. You know, and you should not go to social media and attack other people only because they're exercising their constitutional right to run for office.
Yeah. Well, that's all. I saw some deadly attacks over there. I was like, oh my God, like, is people can see that? Because I'm not on there that often. It's like, yeah, you can see it.
And they say, I've been told that they say my first and last name. They don't even, I've been told, I'm not a social media girl, because like I said, I got 13,000 people to talk to. And I've talked to 5,000. Do you think I have time to be on somebody's? Because here's the reason I really don't. Like I said, Nehemiah 6:3, I don't need that negativity in my head.
Yep.
Right? What I need to do is talk to the men and women who are elected, who are registered voters, and who want change in this city. And if you want change in the city, I'm asking you to vote for me, Catherine Hardrick, and Solange Disdain. Post 1, I'm running in Post 1 for Snellville City Council Post 1. Solange Disdain is the incumbent, and she's running for re-election for Post 2. Early voting is underway right now. If you live within the city limits of Snellville, you must go to Snellville City Hall. City Council, City Hall. City Council, City Hall. You got to go to Oak Road for City Hall. And I say that a couple times because I don't want you to go to the other location. You must go to Snellville City Hall. Early voting underway from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And y'all can early vote tomorrow on Saturday, October the 28th. Y'all can go early vote tomorrow at City Hall. And this early voting ends on November the 3rd. And election day is November 7th, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So I'm asking everybody to come on out and vote. You know, we need a leadership that does not participate in all that ugliness. Yeah. You know, you want someone that's going to represent you on the dais and off the dais. You know, when you go to think about it, you got to go deal with a contract with Mayor Dickens in Atlanta. Why would he want to deal with you and you on social media acting like that? I mean, you got to really think about it.
Yeah.
Because we want a city that people want to have relationships with us.
Yeah.
So the first person that you're going to see is your mayor and council.
Yeah.
You know, so if you saying nasty comments about Black women on social media, how do you think that's going to resonate with a Black mayor or a Black mayor woman leadership? You know, so we need to be careful with that. Just be mindful that you want people that's going to represent you, that's going to represent you respectfully, represent what you like to see, a beautiful city, a safe city. You know, I talked to citizens that one neighborhood, they've been asking for speed bumps for 6 years. 3 children have been hit. And yet nothing has happened. But you have speed bumps in other neighborhoods where certain favorite people live. So we need to be fair and just when we administer our policies and ordinances and where thing goes, whatnot. It shouldn't be prioritized by class or who you know. It needs to be prioritized by the need, right? Yeah. So I just encourage people to go to my website, electcat.com, sign up to volunteer, come out, join us. We're waving signs. And that's it, girl. And make sure you get out the vote. You know what I'm saying? Get out the vote. Get out the vote. That's the main thing.
Get out the vote. Listen, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for really just trying to bring our communities together. People don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, Kat. I pay attention to all that stuff. Like, if we don't pull together, trust me, it's other things that's going to tear us apart, and it won't be us. And so now is the time for us to start pulling together and working together to build these strong communities, because while we're sitting back fighting and throwing trash on social media, that little robot over there that's looking at your social media is figuring out how to defeat you. I'm just saying, say what you want to say. I'm in tech all day, every day. So while you're over there slinging dirt on social media, the little chat bot that over there roaming around your social media page is figuring out just how to defeat you.
Wow.
And it's smart like that. So I'm just saying, if we don't pull together, we will suffer as a world. We will suffer as a community. We have to stop the nonsense and pull together. We have to get the people who need mental health, get them the help they need. Some people don't even know they need help. If you're talking to people and you see that they're a little bit off, offer them some help. I talk to a person, I know something is missing, right? I know something is a little off, but they know it too, so they get help. Right? And I just had to fall back like, it's not my wheelhouse. But you're doing the right thing for you. We have to start working together. I'm telling y'all, I follow these people who are just doing big things in tech. There's a lot going on that the general public just don't know about because they don't care about it. We don't have time to be sitting around here bickering about color and this and that. We need to figure out how to work together.
That's right.
To survive. And it doesn't sound like we're gonna need it, right? But just look across the world. Look what's going on. Just look around. Look what's going on. We need to figure it out. So I thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for being on the show today. Yeah. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We got more to come. Friday Morning Mingle, your host, Audrey Bell Kearney, Catherine Hardrick, electcat.com. Check her out. We'll be back again next Friday with another great guest. I want you guys to be sure to follow us on LinkedIn at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Good Morning Gwinnett, and also YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel so that way when we go live, you don't ever miss a podcast. You don't ever miss a live episode. Thank you to all of the people who stayed over on Amazon. So, Kat, we're streaming live right now. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Amazon.com. Yes, you can stream on Amazon. I'm streaming live on Amazon. So and people on Amazon always stick around, which is, I'm saying you can't see it because I'm looking at this other device. But they always stick around on Amazon. So
thanks, Amazon family. Woo!
Yes, thank you, Amazon, for always showing up. Listen, if y'all need to learn how to start a podcast, you want to do what I'm doing right now, check out my book in the carousel. Yep, you got something to say it with the book. So that's my book. Those are all my books in the carousel. Just go through the carousel. You can also download the app from the App Store. If you got Alexa, you can download the Alexa from this right here in the carousel on Amazon and put the Alexa on your. If you got Alexa device in your house, you can listen to Good Morning Gwinnett. You can go back and listen to this episode on your Alexa in your house for Good Morning Gwinnett. So thank you again. You guys stay safe out there. I'll be back again next Friday, same time, same place with another great guest. Until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all. Bye, Kat.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Friday Morning Mingle. If you enjoyed this episode of the show, be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite streaming platform. If you would like to join a community of women who mean business, we invite you to become a member of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce by going to www.gwinnettwomenschamber.com, or to become a member of the Thrive Tribe, go to www.thrivetribe.biz. Tune in next week for another great episode of the Friday Morning Mingle at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.